Peace and blessings. How you doing? Father Augustino here with your daily meditation. Today is Monday of the third week of Lent, and here is your daily meditation. A couple years ago, I did my hermitage in California, solitude, meaning that I was in a week for silence, and it was great. It was amazing. I was in this beautiful part of California, and there was, in the distance, I saw like a little mountain with a cross on top, and I said, I want to go there. And I thought I'd just take a walk. But what I didn't realize is that there was kind of like all these hedges and these thorn bushes that ended up being like a maze. And so on my way back, I kind of got lost. And I didn't bring anything with me. And that's when like this serious thirst and like the endorphins started going in, because I'm just like, if I'm gonna get lost. I was completely by myself. And it was like that fight or flight thing kicked in. I'm just like, whoa, focus. Like, I'm going to die out here. They're going to eat me. A bear's going to eat Mexican tonight. So I was just like, we need to focus. And I remember being so thirsty. And when I came back and I drank some water, I was just grateful just for water. And this brings us to our verse that we're meditating on today. It's John chapter 4, verse 7, 8. And it says, "There came a woman of Samaria to draw water. And Jesus said to her, 'Give me a drink.' For his disciples had gone away into the city to buy food." Okay, now remember, what's the scene? Jesus is in Samaria, a place that Jews and Samaritans, they kind of didn't really get along. And he was by himself, and it was the middle of the day. It was 12 noon, and he asks a woman who shows up to draw water for a drink. What is the thirst that Jesus truly has? Maybe we've been blessed in our lives and we've never ever really been thirsty. I remember when I was in Honduras for a couple years, and we were serving the people, and the kids would come with all these sicknesses, this general and this GI sickness, sickness of their stomach, all these crazy things. They would have these marks on their skin. We call them roncha. They would call them ronchas, and they were fungi that would grow on their skin, and it was because they were bathing and drinking dirty water. I hope and pray that you've never had to do that. Last year we did a Tough Mudder, a whole bunch of us, and we got into some seriously stinky water, and my clothes still stink. It's crazy. To this day, it still smells like that mud. It's insane. And I hope and pray that you've never had to do it. But Jesus thirsts. He had a physical need. He asked this woman for a drink, but we would be foolish to think that it was just this woman that was passing by that he was asking. St. Augustine says that the Samaritan woman is an image of the church, the unredeemed church. And he thirsts that she would come and be reconciled. Jesus thirsts for our own conversion. He thirsts for us to come closer to him. Don't lose the fact that he asked this at 12 o'clock. There's another time in the Gospel of John where Jesus asked for a drink, and it was just after the 12 noon hour when he was on the cross. Mother Teresa speaks about how it's really Jesus' thirsts for souls, a thirst for us. My brothers and sisters, what do you thirst for? What do you fight for? I know some people who love music and they're totally into it. I know some people who are totally into video games, and you ask them and they know everything about it. I know people who are totally into all these different things. Is that what you thirst for? Is this your thirst? My brothers and sisters, we must thirst with Christ. This thirsting for the conversion of souls. What are you willing to do so that a soul might be converted? I was in California again, this time in a city, and it was a youth retreat, and it was awesome. Saturday night, everyone was crying. It was beautiful. And afterwards, the team said, we're going to go get something to eat. You want to come? Like, yeah, you know. And so like there it was, Saturday night in California. And I don't know if you guys ever heard like that old song, The Freaks Come Out at Night. Well, it's really true over there, man, because there's all these crazy characters that were there at this Denny's. And, people dressed all interestingly and stuff. And there we were in our robes, me and another brother. And then we were laughing. We were having a great time. And then right next to us, this group of kids sat down, and I could smell what they were doing beforehand, if you know what I mean. And when they said, I'm so hungry, man, I got the munchies. Yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. And so we were leaving, and then one of the girls in our group said, talk to them. And I was like, man, I do not want to talk to anybody right now. Man, I don't want to talk to anybody who, especially like after that state, you don't know what you're going to get. But she said, talk to them. As I said, okay. So I had some prayer cards, and I took them out, and I said, hey, can I give you a prayer card? And who's going to say no to that? This one guy said, yeah, sure, man. So I gave him a prayer card, and I explained the saint. Oh, this is Saint Ignatius. He was a great soldier that wanted to be great. Then he had a conversion, and he began to serve God. And I turned to this beautiful-looking blonde woman, and I said, oh, this is Maria Goretti. She was a beautiful young woman who died protecting her chastity. And I gave it to this young woman. And then I started going person to person, and this other girl said, why are you dressed like that? And I was like, I'm dressed like this because I'm following Jesus. And so we make vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. Chastity, don't you want to have sex? I'm like, what's your name, by the way? We want to and I said, yes, sex is good and holy, but it's not the only thing. And she said, no, yes, sex is the only thing. And I was like, no, it's not. She said, yes, it is. No, it's not. I was going to go right back to 4th grade with this girl. And then something happened. The girl who I gave the prayer card to, Maria Goretti, was just looking at the card, and she was just crying. Just looking at the card, weeping. I know God was doing something in her heart. I gently touched her shoulder, and I said, I'm going to pray for you. It's not a mistake that we were sitting next to each other on this evening. I think a powerful encounter, an encounter that she might never forget. I hope and pray that it was a seed planted in her heart, but I would not have done it had that young lady in our group not thirsted for those souls. My brothers and sisters, what do you thirst for? Well, how can we get to a point where we thirst for souls as Jesus was thirsting for the soul of the Samaritan woman? Father Augustino here. We will see you tomorrow on your Lenten meditations. Peace.